What's up, folks? Today we're going to be talking about logical statements. So what is a logical statement? For example, the sky is blue. So this is a logical statement. You can negate this statement. Negating the statement means putting the word not in it. That's all a negation is, right? The statement is the sky is blue. The negation is the sky is not blue. Here's another statement. The capital of New York State is Buffalo. You probably realize that this is not true. The capital, the real capital of our state is Albany. So this is actually a false statement. The truth value of the statement is false, but it's still a statement. Now what's the negation of this statement? Well, the capital of New York State is not Buffalo. That would be the negation. Negation of our statement. The capital of New York State is not Buffalo. That's the negation because we put the word not. The normal statement is the capital of New York State is Buffalo, but we know that truth value of that statement is false, whereas the truth value of this statement is true. Alright, so that's all logical statements are. Sometimes they're true, like the sky is blue. Remember, the negation of a logical statement will always be the opposite truth value. So for example, if we have a true statement, its negation will be false. If we have a false statement, its negation will be true. Alright, so write the negation of each statement. A, parallel lines do not intersect, and the measure of angle A is less than 35 degrees. So how are we going to write the negation of each of these statements? We just put the word not in each of the statements. So like this. So usually we put the word not to negate a statement. But since there's already a not in the statement, we just take it out to find the negation. So the negation of statement A is parallel lines do intersect. The regular statement is parallel lines do not intersect. Now, what's the truth value? Well, remember, parallel lines never intersect. So this would be actually a true statement, and our negation has the opposite truth value, and it's false. What's the negation of our second statement? Well, you can actually write it two different ways. You can say the measure of angle A is simply not greater than 35 degrees. So that means not greater than 35 degrees. Or you can write it another way. You could say the measure of angle A, if it's not greater than 35 degrees, it's probably less than or equal to 35 degrees. And let's check out some more examples. So you can actually connect logical statements. For example, you can say it is spring and the birds are chirping. Alright, so this logical statement is actually a compound logical statement. It's what we call a conjunction because we're combining two logical statements using the word and. So what are our two logical statements here? Well, we're saying it is spring and we're saying the birds are chirping. So this is statement one, this is statement two. We connect them using and this is called a conjunction. Now each statement in the conjunction is called a conjunct. So conjunct 1 plus conjunct 2 using the word and as the connector creates a conjunction. Now you can also connect logical statements using the word or. So what's going on here? Well, we got two statements, right? We got two logical statements. I will study and I will watch TV, and they're connected by this connector, which is the word or. Okay, that's the connector. So I will study or I will watch TV. Now this is actually called a disjunction because we're using the word or. A disjunction has two parts, right? I will study or I will watch TV. So each part of the disjunction is called a disjunct, each of the statements. So disjunct 1 or disjunct 2 creates a disjunction. Conjunct 1 and conjunct 2 creates a conjunction. Now let's check out some symbols we use to represent conjunctions and disjunctions. To use a conjunction, we replace the word and by a symbol. And here's the symbol we use. We use a kind of wacky symbol. It's like the Vulcan sign. That's the symbol we use. It is spring. This sign, the birds are chirping. This is code word for and. Okay, this is code word for and. Now, how do we represent the word or? Well, we use the opposite version of this. We use this symbol, and that represents or, the connecting word. Another way you can represent this is disjunct 1, you can call it P, and disjunct 2, you can call it Q. So to represent their disjunction, you can write P or Q, just like that. To represent a conjunction, you can use P and Q, and you can write the conjunction as P and Q. So that's how we can symbolically write conjunctions and disjunctions. Let's talk about truth table. Now, a conjunction is only true if both P and Q have a truth value of true. So if both P is true and Q is true, only then can the whole conjunction of their statements be true. Okay? Only then can P and Q be true. Okay, that makes sense, right? For example, if you say the sky is blue and the grass is green, well, both of those statements are true, so the whole statement is true. But if you say the sky is yellow and the grass is green, well, that's not true. So the conjunction of those statements would be false. A conjunction is only true if both of the conjuncts are true. On the other hand, disjunction can be true if at least one of the disjuncts are true. To help you clear this up, let's take a look at a truth table. First, we're going to look at conjunctions. Remember, conjunctions are when you combine logical statements using the word and. In conjunctions, remember, the whole statement can only be true if each of the conjuncts are true. So, P represents a conjunct, aka statement 1. Q represents another conjunct, aka statement 2, and P and Q is the conjunction. So remember, P and Q is true only if both P and Q are true. Okay? What if P is false? What if one of our statements is false? So what if P is false? Well, if P is false and Q is true, well, regardless, just because one of the statements is false means the whole thing is false. The whole conjunction becomes false. On the other hand, if P is true, but Q is false, well, again, if you have even one false statement, that makes the whole thing crash down. That means the whole thing is false. And finally, what do we have last? Well, what if both of the statements are false? So what if you say the sky is yellow and the grass is blue? Well, that's pretty bad, because then both of your statements are false, right? The sky is not yellow and the grass is not blue, so your conjunction is not going to be true. It's going to be false. So this is the truth table for conjunctions. Now let's take a look at the truth table for disjunctions. Remember, in a disjunction, the logical statements have different names. They're called disjuncts, right? So let me write that up here. This is P represents our first disjunct, statement 1. Q represents our second disjunct, statement 2. And P or Q, remember, this symbol means or, represents our disjunction. Remember, if P is true and Q is true, everyone is happy. Everyone is happy, right? So if you say the sky is blue or the grass is green, well, both of those are true, so everybody's happy. The whole statement is true. Now, what if you say the sky is blue or the grass is yellow? Well, your second statement, Q, is false. But since we're using the word or, using the connector or, if you combine these statements, if you combine a true plus a false, that gives you a true. So if someone tells you the sky is blue or the grass is yellow, well, that's true, right? Because one of the statements is true. The first thing they said was true. Now, what if, on the other hand, the person says the sky is orange? Well, actually, that might be true during a sunset. What if they say the sky is purple, right? Well, obviously that's false. But then they say or the grass is green. Well, their second statement is true, but their first one is false, right? They said the sky was purple. Well, because one of their statements was true, that makes the whole thing true, because we're using the connector or. Now, here's where things get really bad. What if you this is kind of embarrassing, but what if you say the sky is green and the grass is blue? Well, then both of your statements are false. I never saw a green sky or a blue grass. So both of the statements are false, and the disjunction itself is false. Alright folks, so that's it for our flipped classroom lesson. Let's check out the big idea.